Should we use artificial lighting like these for our photos, or should we go the more natural way? Now let's face it, there's a lot of macro photography techniques out there and even more lighting options to go with them. In this video, my goal is to compare the effect of natural and artificial light on tiny subjects and hopefully help you decide which one you prefer. I'll be using my flexible lighting kit, some reflectors, my Canon R5 paired with my 100mm macro, and a good tripod to keep things steady. And for those who believe that using artificial lighting in photography is either fake or unnatural, maybe we should start by asking ourselves another question. What is photography? If the word photography means drawing with light, I think it's fair to say that for us photographers, light is the tool we use to create meaningful images. In macrophotography, another great tool we should all use is our ability to slow down, take a breath, and try noticing the often overlooked details around us. My goal today is to compare artificial lighting with natural lighting, but keep in mind that that's only my opinion and you should definitely give yours in the comment, because I don't really have the truth about what's fake or what's natural, because as far as I'm concerned, we might all be living in a big machine. So let's keep it simple for this video and just talk about the nature of light in photography. For this composition, as you can see, I decided to put the mushroom on the right hand side right there. Maybe use a little rule of third for this one. There's a fallen tree in the background which creates an interesting horizontal line that's going to keep the eye into the shot. But let's say we get a little bit lower like that. I think it's distracting because it's really close to the mushroom. I'm going to focus tag the image to keep the mushroom all in focus, and then we're going to add some light to try to do something a little bit different and compare both shots. All right, so now let's try to put some lighting in and see the difference it makes. Now before adding some lights, I'm going to underexpose the shot by about 1 to 2 stops. Now the lights are set up. I'm going to close them both just to show you the difference it makes. And I'm going to start by lighting up the one in the background because I want to create a halo around the subject. So you're going to be able to see in real time what it makes. And I'm going to be able to dial down the intensity of the light. So right now, I feel like it's too much. So probably something like 15%, something just like that. I think it's nice. I really do love, the highlights it creates, because there's a small mouse right there, right behind the mushroom, and I think it creates nice highlights. So now I want to put a little bit more light on the mushroom from this side. So I'm going to dial in the light so you can see in real time the effect it has. I think something around 30% gives a nice ratio. So now I'm going to add one more light and try to lit up the side of the mushroom to reveal a little bit of texture from this side, but not too much, just like that. I'll compare both shots and let me know what you think in the comment, and let's jump to another shot after that. Since we're on the topic of natural versus artificial, I want to have your thought on doing a little bit of gardening around your subject before taking the shot. What I mean by that is like, adding leaves to the shot, removing small objects that might be distracting. What do you feel about that? Do you feel it's cheating? Do you feel it's okay? I want to have your perspective on that because there's a lot of opinion out there and it's fun to hear all of them. So the sun is coming out, so I'm going to quickly set up all the lights I need for this shot, and then I'm going to do it with the natural light, because I always like to work with artificial lighting where the sun has pretty much no effect on the shot. Since it's coming up right now, I'm going to start with artificial lighting, and then I'm going to do a shot with natural light, maybe use a foil or something to bounce the light off of the mushroom. I'm going to start by putting 3 lights on my pod here for this shot, because I really do want to fine-tune these lights, and they're not going to be high intensity light for this one because the mushroom has a lot of reflection on top and I don't want to blow out the highlights. It's only a matter of fine-tuning each and every light as I want, and then I'm going to dial in the intensity. I'm going to be able to fine-tune it with the app. So I think let's start with this first light here. I think I don't want to put it too much, just like that. I think it's fine. So now that I have the three first lights set up that are mostly for, I think, the top of the mushroom, I'm going to use this one on the other side just to try to lit up the stem a little bit and separate the mushroom from the background. All right, so I like the lighting now. I think the composition is pretty interesting, but there's something missing in the background because I think the photo is a little bit too flat. So I'm going to try to add a little bit of aluminum foil that I'm going to stick onto this chopstick just to hold it behind the mushroom and try to create some depth. I'm going to focus bracket the image again, probably 40 images, something like that. And I'm going to focus tag them in post-processing. And I always make sure I use a 2-second or a 10-second timer to make sure I don't introduce any shake to the camera while the camera do its job. So I think I'm going to bounce the light underneath the mushroom with this foil in order to reveal a little bit of texture underneath. And I think that's pretty much the only thing I'm going to do for this shot because I want to keep it as natural as possible. So now I'm going to show you both images, and again, give me your thoughts on them, which one you prefer, which one you feel has the more impact to it, which one you feel has the more authenticity to it. By the way, I just took 2 images that I didn't comment on, so if you don't want to hear me talk right now, you're going to be able to follow along and see how I go about positioning the lights and the effect it has on the subject. I know this is a touchy subject in macro photography or any kind of photography, and I truly respect that, but some of you feels like using artificial lighting, like I said in the beginning of the video, it's kind of fake, and I get what you're saying. As far as I'm concerned, my style of photography, I really do like to pick subject. I don't know how to say it, but put them on a pedestal, you know what I mean? You know, make the focus all about them. And I feel like using artificial lighting is a good way for me to do that. I'm not sure if you noticed yet, but when I'm using artificial lighting, there's still natural lighting in the shot because I don't underexpose the shot at a point where the camera is pitch black before putting the lighting in. So it's a balance between natural light and artificial light. But I can see people who loves to walk around, maybe with more lightweight gear, and go in the forest and take images without any additional lighting, and I can see the value in that too. I think it's more of a personal thing, a personal choice. What do you want to do with your photography? What emotion do you want to convey in your images? I think with natural lighting, you have a more warmth in the image, you know, and a more authentic look. And with artificial lighting, I think the images have more impact because you're able, you know, to shape the light around the subject, reveal these textures, and really do accentuate the overall aspect of the subject. If you follow me, you saw that I'm working with different types of light. About a month and a half ago, a company called Adaptalux, these lights right there that I'm using on the last shots, sent me those products, and it's really cool because basically you can move them around and place them, you know, close to your subject. I feel like when you have smaller lights, you're able to get some micro contrast, you know, in your image because the subject is often really small. So if you put a light even that big, which is really small, it's going to act like a giant softball and the shadows are going to be soft. I really do like the fact that they're really small. If you guys are really interested about these lights and plan on making a purchase, I'll put the link in the description, and if you want to support my channel, just click the link to make your purchase and it's going to help a lot. Yeah, so basically that's my take on the lighting in macro photography, what I'm feeling about it. I know lots of you want to comment and give your thoughts, and it would be really appreciated. So let's go in the forest and try to find something else. I think I might have another idea. All right, so for the next composition, again, it's going to be a mushroom. This one's going to be growing on the sidewall of a tree stump, and I think it's a pretty interesting composition. So I'll start with natural light, and I had an idea, and I want to use this butter knife in order to reflect the light underneath the mushroom and fill out those shadows a little bit. Obviously, plastic won't work for this one. So now I'm moving the butter knife slightly just to try to pick up the sun rays. I want to be careful here because I don't want to disturb the background. You know, see the difference? Maybe something just like that. Believe it or not, but for this shot, I already did some tests, but we need 50 images in order to get the mushroom all in focus since we're really, really close to the subject. I'm gonna focus on the front part of the mushroom and I'm gonna manually override the focus, you know, to get a little closer to make sure I have this front part of the mushroom. And then the camera is gonna focus, bracket all the image. I'm gonna show you the result with natural light. Now, just before putting the artificial light in, I'm just going to underexpose the shot slightly. So with one light only, I think it's pretty interesting. The subject is definitely more defined. I think I'm going to underexpose the shot a little bit more and maybe put another light from the other side. I'm going to try just to put a little bit of light on top of the mushroom, just to create an interesting halo. So I kind of like the effect it makes right now, but I'm going to dial down. I think something just like that might be fine. Okay, so now I think I'm ready to take the shot, but I feel like there's a little bit too much light on the background. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna unscrew the front part of the lights, so it's gonna narrow down the light beam and only, you know, lit up the subject nicely. So I'm gonna show you the effect in real time it makes. All right, so basically that's what we have right now. And let's unscrew this. Look at the difference. I think I'm ready to take the shot, but I want to use this knife again just to put a little bit of light underneath the mushroom. So I'm going to use this light, which is pointing towards the mushroom. I'm just going to place the knife underneath, and you're going to be able to see the difference. You see, just like that. It's going to reveal a little bit more, or should I say it's going to soften the shadow in front of the mushroom. I think I like it just like that. All right, now I want your comment on today's video. I want to know how you feel about artificial lighting versus natural lighting. In my perspective, I think it all comes down to personal choices. I think there's no good or wrong way to do stuff. Just like a painter uses his brushes, you know, to paint his canvas, we as photographers are using light, and sometimes it can come from artificial lighting, a reflection of the sun, reflection of the artificial light. But for me, it doesn't matter, because as photographers, these are tools to create images, and that's what we do. So I think my biggest key takeaway, or my biggest tip for you, I guess, is never stop learning, try new stuff, have fun. And in order to do that, you just have to remember one thing: just keep moving.